Beyond the Ring, a podcast that covers all things in the stock show industry from the informative to the insane, starring Ryan Rash.
You people need to get a corn dog and cheer the blank up.
And Dale Hummel.
Sometimes the questions are complicated and the answers are simple.
Now on with the show.
Welcome to Beyond the Ring. This is Dale Hummel, along with co-star Ryan Rash.
Hello, hello, hello.
Ryan, it's kind of a mess this morning, this afternoon, this whatever it is.
I blame you. I was perfectly fine.
Yeah. Every time I travel with my laptop and the microphone and the technical equipment, how well does it go for me?
Not worth the damn.
I can't remember the last time. So I am on my wife's laptop, and it appears to be working at the moment, sitting in the camper at the Illinois State Fair, which, Ryan, I know you're in denial that I'm even here.
Dale, this is not... I do not believe you were there because I do not believe that they can hold you hostage for another week.
That is an accurate statement. That is true. So we showed on Friday, Coliseum Saturday.
All of the shows were over by Saturday night.
Yes,
it's done.
This is correct.
Over.
And then you have all of your Land of Lincoln champions and your champion of the junior show have to go to the champions barn, and
That's fine.
They have to stay there until the following Sunday. So
the animal must stay there.
Yes.
People having to stay there and eat hotel rooms and take care of it and all this other stuff, and these kids missing a week of school, that is bullshit. They cannot hold you hostage like that.
Do you know how many years the exhibitors have tried to explain this to the state fair? I think
then evidently y'all do not speak the English language very clearly.
And not only do we have to stay here and take care of them, that's fine. We can feed them in the morning, we can feed them at night, check on them. But in theory, they request that these showmen, Katie, has to be in the barn from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. or a family member.
No.
This is also the week that Illinois starts school. There's a lot of things going on. Now, I don't want to take away from anything, and I hope I didn't already. This is a huge privilege, and Katie is excited about it. She's been in the champion barn nearly every year since she's been born, but never with one of hers. And she is happy to be there. She enjoys hanging out with the other kids that have champions, all of those things.
I am sure she is just tickled as shit to not have to go to school for a week and sit there and hang out with the other little champion kids. This is still bullshit.
It is.
It is bullshit. There is no way any fair can expect any family to stay another entire week to feed and care for a champion animal. No, y'all putting up with this is insane.
And the concept is so they can interact with the public. I get it all. I understand it. But we have a camper here, so it's not,
Dale, you don't need to interact with the public.
No, not me, Katie. Yeah,
I'm just saying, you do not.
So we're in a camp RV. I don't know what it costs. It's not terrible. But if we were in a hotel room, think about that. Think about what those champions bring and how much you're spending to be here. It's not a good situation.
Your camper doesn't cost money?
It does, but I mean, it's less than those that are staying in a hotel room.
And they reimburse you for none of this?
They give you some tickets to get in and out of the fair.
Nothing for your food?
Pretty much nothing. It's an honor. It is an honor.
No, stop. All these parents missing work?
Some would, yes.
You're going to leave the teenage children there by themselves unchaperoned?
I discussed that with my wife last night, and we opted to make sure one of us was here each night. Yes. So it was.
Y'all are insane. We're moving on. Y'all are. This is prompting a new topic. State fair insanity. This is nuts.
Coming soon is what we can, and we can go into a lot more detail there. I do have another experience from the Illinois State Fair I need to share.
Jesus Christ.
You know how much I like our Governor Pritzker.
Yes, Dale, we know that you accosted him and went to jail.
No, we don't necessarily know that, and I did not go to jail. We talked about this. You had the opportunity to be here. You had the opportunity.
No.
You chose not to.
You did not tell me when he was going.
You at least an hour ahead of time.
Dale, this does not get ready in an hour. It does not happen.
Okay, so he's here beginning first day of the fair to open up Conservation World, which just happens to be right outside the goat and sheep barn. So I see it happen every year, and he'll have about, 100 people come and listen to him give a speech about the opening. So I took the opportunity to get front and center with Chase as my video cameraman, and he was very opposed to this. He thought maybe somebody would get arrested and he would be involved, but I did manage afterwards to ask Governor Pritzker some questions one-on-one. And I'm going to shorten it, and he gave me several minutes. I don't think he wanted to, but when you reach your hand out and introduce yourself, he didn't have a lot of choices in the situation he was in. With that said, he did discuss immigration with me. I went into some detail about how many illegal immigrants, and that was a term I used, and he did not say they were not. He believes there's 45,000 illegal immigrants that were bused into Chicago. He does not know where they are now, and he does not know how they're surviving. He does not know if we can legally employ them or not, and was pretty open and pretty honest about that. There was another situation that I heard about a couple weeks ago or more recently, that he was going to mandate each individual county has to provide funding to house the illegal immigrants and pay for their care. This would be considered a non-funded mandate, and I brought that up to him, and he assured me, and Chase has it on tape, that he was not going to do that. So for the taxpayers of Illinois, that's a start. I do not know if he's telling the truth or not, but we can be hopeful. But it was good.
You do know that politicians lie.
Yes, and I suspect that. The read that I got from him, Ryan, and you're going to find this hard to believe, I don't think he really cares about anything other than maybe where he's going to spend his weekend at a condo in Florida or whatever. I just don't, he seemed like a nice enough person, but really just doesn't, I don't think he has a strong conviction either way. I think you can make Illinois a red state and he could flip his issues and it wouldn't bother him one bit, if that makes any sense.
No, that makes no sense.
Well, he just wants to be in the office. He does not care whether it's a liberal or a conservative situation. He did that doesn't, in my opinion, does not seem to matter. The final question that I attempted to ask was, with 45,000 presumably illegal immigrants in the state of Illinois, with the presidential election coming forward, and this being a very liberal state, are there any concerns that they will be voting? And at that point, his personal assistant kind of distracted me one way, and his security people took him the other way. I don't know if it was a coincidence at that time or that question was out of bounds. I'm not sure, but he appeared until some intervention very willing to answer questions, not as direct as some would like, but willing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I don't believe he and I agree on things.
We're glad that you feel better about things now.
I do feel better. That was
That's
good.
good.
That was very good.
I'm very happy for you.
Did you know we're about in World War III?
Dale, you say that every day, so
I want to go on the record. I predict probably before this episode drops. What is it? Monday? It's Tuesday. This drops on Friday. Iran is on high alert. I believe they will attack Israel. I believe they will do it because the Biden administration is more concerned about appeasing Iran than supporting Israel, and they can get away with it right now. They believe public perception because of that is on their side. So they're going to do it. And this could escalate into things that go very wrong. And I put most of this strictly on the shoulders of the White House.
I would like for you to explain to me how you know what the Biden administration is concerned about, because the only current events that I have Elon and Trump did an interview that I haven't watched. And number two, I saw a video
on TikTok, probably.
No, on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, of Joe walking into the bushes. That's it.
At the beach?
No, he walked into some bushes.
I saw him trying to walk through the sand in the beach, and you can envision how that works.
He was in a suit here, and he walked just
into the bushes.
And little Secret Service man chased after him to bring him back. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it just amazes me. What about the camel going full-blown chameleon?
Huh?
The camel going chameleon.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Flipping on every everything she's ever stood for, voted for, or spoken. Now she is tough on crime. She's going to close the border, and there's no tax on tips.
I don't know what you're watching, but I've seen none of this.
Oh, she's completely flipped to almost more of a Trump policy than what she has been all her life.
I think your medications are mixed because...
Did you not hear when she went to Vegas how she decided she came up with this brilliant idea, let's not tax tips, when not very long ago, this was a big deal that they were going after the Biden administration, which she is a part of, were going after those that weren't paying taxes on their tips. She is the toughest prosecutor to ever come out of California, a border state. So she understands how to prosecute illegal aliens.
Dale, just hold up a second. You're missing the big picture here. The key word in that sentence that you just relayed was California. She very well may have been the toughest prosecutor to ever come out of California.
She wasn't.
They don't prosecute anybody in California.
What I am trying to get across is it's complete bullshit. Everything that she's saying, and the media is behind her. And my concern is, even though you believe this election is done over, Trump's going to win, no, I am concerned with the media push this strong. At this point, it is way, way too close. And I'm hopeful if there is a debate, and if she's smart, she's going to continue to avoid the debates. She's going to avoid doing any press conference, and she's going to continue to ride this basically like Joe did in the basement, let the media push her, and we're screwed.
Well, there you go.
Those are my concerns.
Well,
and if you'd like me to rant just a little bit longer, your boy Trump, which I want in office more than anything I could ever wish for. And once he's in office, he can say whatever the hell he wants. I can tell you why Elon interviewed him. Elon was trying to guide him as best he could, and I didn't hear very much of it, just discussed it with people. He's trying to guide him back to policy and the issues and get him off the personal attacks, because that is not working with the independents. If he would stay in the mode he was in for those few days post-assassination attempt, he would be up by 5 to 10 points, but somehow he can't help himself to stay on track. He can win this if he just takes a deep breath and follows what his advisors tell him to do.
I don't know what to tell you. I have tried to explain to you my philosophy on the things Trump. You don't listen, so it doesn't matter.
I get it. I am very, very concerned. Very.
What? If she wins, we're all moving. So that's all there's to it.
Where are we going to move? Where are we moving to?
You like that place where they have all the little lady boys, whatever, wherever
Thailand, I believe Namibia would be another decent choice. But I do not have a house there. I do not have I do not want to move out of this country. And I'm not saying that I even would move, but I can assure you this economy and small businesses will struggle considerably more than what people think if she's in office.
Yeah, I am telling you right now, I don't care what you or what the media says or any of this other stuff. If she wins, it will be the first 4 years, because she will want to be reelected. It will probably be close to as bad as Biden. I don't think probably as bad. She'll probably just continue basically with the same stuff. The last 4 years, this country is over.
I can agree with that. I just don't know. She's going to do whatever she believes will get her reelected. I don't know what that is, but yes.
She has to get elected the first time.
Yes, correct. Let's hope that we don't get to that point. It appears as though there's no question the polls are much closer than they were with Joe in office.
They're going to be. And I have told you until... What have I told you? Until there is a debate.
And what if there isn't a debate?
Then you will probably need to start packing.
I am not leaving. I may go on vacation out of country a little more, but it's a mess. I'm worried about the international stage. I'm worried about the Middle East and the weakness. I'm very concerned where China and Russia are at and how brazen they've become because of Joe there. It's not going to change with Kamala there. This is bigger than moving out of the country. This is This is more serious than a slowdown in the economy, more serious than inflation, more serious than anything we can think about if China and Russia, Iran, North Korea, our adversaries choose to take advantage of this. And I promise you they will.
There you go.
That is a promise.
Well, lovely.
If you want to put your head in a hole and just bury yourself in the sand, that's fine.
I
get it. I would have a much better life if I would do that.
You do about most things, so
I do. Not when it comes to international policy. I'd like to stay abreast of whether the world's going to come to an end.
I have one other nonsense in the current events about the presidential election, and I don't know if I've said this on here, but I have stated this to Dale and Clifton numerous times. There are people in Washington, D.C. They're getting paid millions of dollars to advise these people on what to do, what to say, all these things. And both Trump and Camel Toe spend these millions of dollars for all these people that are supposed to know something, and tell them what to do. And these two people have picked the two worst vice presidential candidates in the history of the world. It just absolutely fathoms me. I will take half your money and advise you way better. Call me.
I am going to continue to be neutral to positive on Vance until proven different.
He had sex. Okay.
Oh, what?
These are the two stories that are out there, and I am not saying that they are correct.
Well,
but
then why propagate it?
Because this is what is out there. If you aren't vetted better than this should never have come. They should never have picked a candidate that might have had sex with a couch, or the other one who might have drunk horse semen. Okay?
God. Oh, we're gonna change this topic very quickly.
You do not see the absolute ludicrousy in this.
I believe that there were better options to get him elected. Do I agree with a lot of the policy that Vance has? Probably. But could he have picked somebody out that would maybe benefit him greater in the route to the White House?
There is a vetting process that
I would assume there is. Yes.
You would how assume. Both of the two parties can pick someone that these are the headlines about their candidates. It just beyond me.
It fits in well with Kennedy's bear story.
Just beyond me. Yeah, the worm and the bear cub and what. Yeah.
So are you aware that the general public out there that is hearing about champions at the Illinois State Fair is under the assumption that you judged the Junior Hog Show the last 2 years?
I did not judge the Junior Hog Show. I did not judge anything. I judged sheep.
Well, the rumor is Ryan Rash used a spot 2 years ago to win grand overall and a Chester this year.
Did not.
But the spot in Chesters did win overall, and that I have talked to Ryan about this. In this state, and I'm not saying a purebred shouldn't win or anything like that, but for the same...
Yes, you are, you racist.
No, I'm saying the same family to get a purebred... Can I use the word off-breed? Is that allowed?
Well, that's what they're called.
Yeah, an off-breed to win grand.
I mean, we're not talking about a Hamp, a York, or a Duroc. We're talking about a spot and a Chester.
Yep, back-to-back. Statistically impossible that the Scheich family does this, and great. I'm excited that they did, but man, that's very unusual, I would say. If Ryan were to be the judge both years, I would throw my money at a Tamworth and something else, probably a Burke.
Well, I don't think you'll have to worry about me judging the hog show with the Illinois State Fair. So
I hear they are changing superintendents, and there are rumors of one of your close buddies will be the superintendent. So.
Oh, well, maybe. I'm down to judge the hogs at the Illinois State Fair. I'm actually would judge anything at the Illinois State Fair, but it just doesn't happen. So
it is there. And I'll just wait for the State Fair topic. But remember, real quickly, we talked about how you put it in words so well that how personal your county fair is and why emotions run high. I think at many of the state fairs, it is still taken very personal at the upper level. And
It's
I
the
think
second most dramatic place to show.
I think, and I don't want to try to single Illinois out, but I think it may be more toxic than even the county fairs. Maybe.
Not all of them, but yours would rank right up there.
Yeah. Do you have any BTR JLA news?
Top 10 intermediate goat. Hannah Early from Indiana is number 1. Cadence Weismer from Nevada is number 2. Alexa Langman of Indiana is number 3. Christopher Contessa of Arizona is number 4. Tyler Stollifer of West Virginia is next, followed by Bella Drulinski of California, Callie Simpson of Arizona, Michael Roselle of Oregon. Number 9 is Elmer Hambrick of Arizona, and Piper Crooks of Indiana is number 10.
Congratulations. And Ryan, I forgot to mention one thing that I would regret not mentioning. You remember how excited you get for Chase and the Skillathon and his sister Tara that went through it and so forth. You would not predict this from Katie, would you?
No, because Katie is smarter than this.
She won the state Skillathon contest and will be competing with a great set of kids from Illinois in the national contest once again. With all of that, I have a sponsor that you can only imagine is ShowFresh H2O. I appreciate their continued support of this podcast, and I have been asked for more questions and asked for more samples at the Illinois State Fair of ShowFresh H2O, and I only had a few in my box, so I did not do
samples.
well.
You are not.
I have sample. I don't always bring them with me like I should, but I do. And I can assure you that ShowFresh H2O is in the Champions Barn. Katie used it this morning. Please give ShowFresh H2O a try. If you have not, it simply takes the chlorination out of the water. Animals are more likely to drink. They're going to look better. They're going to feel better. All of the things involved. You can purchase ShowFresh H2O at your local farm store, show supply trailer, or at swampfox.com. Have you gone to swampfox.com yet, Ryan? You said not. You were going to.
Yeah, I was.
You said?
Just in it.
You did say that.
Been busy.
Main topic. And this one, you're going to take this one. You're going to go very personal on this one, aren't you? You're going to tell me.
I'm just going to talk because I'm angry.
Attitude and atmosphere are contagious.
Mm-hmm.
Not just about the topic we're talking about, but pretty much in everything.
Yeah, and so, here's my thing. Okay. I do not understand. Everyone that does this, regardless of what level they do it on, etc., it takes a lot of money, first off. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy. All of these things.
An obscene amount of all of the above.
You can sit here and just run through your head all of the things that it takes to do this, even at a very simple level. Okay, I'm not talking about me and the 50 head-on feed and what I'm talking about, just like any level. And this summer, more than ever, I have done lots of state fairs. I have done state fairs in every barn, every species, all these things. And I am just telling you that the people that are watching these shows, I cannot tell if they are watching an execution or they are watching a livestock show. Because they all look miserable. Nobody claps. Nobody supports the kids. No one gets happy even when they win. And I want to know what the hell is wrong with you people.
I have to insert here. It's not at all shows. It's not everybody, but this is an issue. I agree that you can go to many shows and they don't do that. You would like, and I would like, and many people would like when you pull in your first or second in class that people would applaud then without you asking. Or at the end of the class for all the kids as they're walking out of the arena.
That's right.
You can pull applause out of them at a division or the grand drive, usually. But what's the key word there? Pull it out of them.
No, I have started yelling at them.
I don't know that's the best approach.
That's the only approach that's working for me.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go I'm gonna take us.
Okay, but before you take off, like I said this to Dale, and Dale, I prefaced this with Dale that he was the absolute wrong person to
Thanks.
bring this up to, but I know that everybody's listening to this as at some point not wanted to go somewhere. A movie, whatever, you name it. I don't want to do this, I don't want to do it, but somebody made you go. And you got there, and the other people were having a good time, and eventually you had a good time. Because attitude and atmosphere are contagious. And so my point of all this, and I will get deeper into it, everything at the shows can be improved if y'all will just change your bleeping attitudes. Because it will change the atmosphere of the show as well. Okay.
I am not going to argue that by any means. And you've gone to shows where the attitude and atmosphere was amazing.
Yes.
And you've gone to shows recently because of how personal this is at the moment that are the opposite. Why do you think there's
it's not even neutral. These people are angry.
Then explain to me
miserable.
Why you believe there's a difference. Why is this?
I do not know. I do not know what the difference is. I do not understand it. And all of these have been state fair level shows that I'm griping about and bitching about. All of them.
I'm going to take it from an exhibitor standpoint. And a lot of the people.
No, because it's not the kids. It's not the kids.
The exhibitor's family. A lot of the people in the crowd are family and maybe grandparents. I mean, and just people that stop by. I get it. But I'm going to take it from when I say exhibitor, just that family and that experience. I think the tone for that entire show set, it begins when you pull in the parking lot with the guard at the gate. If they're positive, polite, it goes on into check-in. There are shows, Ryan, all the way up to the national level, from county to national level, that as a exhibitor or a family of an exhibitor that's trying to compete, you are treated pretty poorly, almost like you're doing something wrong every step of the way, and you better walk this line exactly because this is how it is, and don't you stray or you're going to be in trouble. That sets a pretty poor tone. There's other shows that are extremely user-friendly and positive, and I think a lot of it starts there, and it works out. That's just one little segment of it, but it's real. Everybody that you interact with from that show is going to contribute to whether you're in a positive mindset or not. I believe that has some impact. I can tell you when I think back to some of the shows that I've had great interaction and great applause from the crowd. Some of them were some of the smallest shows that I've ever judged. But for whatever reason, maybe a little more connected, maybe a little more excited. I believe, and I can throw myself under the bus, there's sometimes that I'm not interacting with the crowd in a manner to bring them in for whatever reason. And other times I feel much more into it and almost reach out and grab some of those individuals in the crowd and try to explain on their terms. Here's some differences. Almost ask them, do you see it? This goes to a conversation I had with my nephew Cade last night. I was driving back to State Fair and he was leaving Missouri State Fair. And ironically, he tells me that he just finished judging the breeding gilts at Missouri, and he had some of the best crowd response, clapping for first and seconds, all of that he's ever had. And that's interesting because, and I don't, he'll tell you, he didn't do anything different. Who knows what reason it was, other than he did make that effort to engage the crowd. And sometimes when I'm in the ring and I'm throwing myself under the bus, I will make more effort to do that certain times than not. But there's so many factors that go into it. And Ryan's going to explain this better than I can. The bottom line with that is that applause, that excitement level, that atmosphere makes a huge difference for each and every one of those kids that goes in the ring. And
it makes a difference for everyone sitting there.
Yes, we're not doing very well is what I'm getting at.
It makes a difference on every single individual at that show, not just the kids. And Kate, I have judged sheep at the Missouri State Fair, and the crowd was amazing. And so I'm not doubting that Cade had a great crowd in the hog show. I'm telling you, the crowd at the Missouri State Fair Cattle Show was abysmal.
That's not very nice.
It was.
And what
I
did you
yelled
tell
at
them?
for 2 days. And
Did it help? Did it help?
That when I would yell at them in the Grand Drive, they would muster up something. But I mean, it's just like when I yell at them, they finally put their hands together. People yell, scream, whatever. They can do that every class. It takes the same amount of effort and energy. And then every kid gets to feel good after every class, not just the ones in the champion drive. And that is what is bullshit about all of this. But so I am not saying, but you're talking about when you, whatever. I try to engage with every single crowd at every single show. Would you not agree with that?
I have no doubt that you're very perceptive of everything that's going on out there. All of those things. Yes, you do your best to engage with them. But I think half the crowd, you'd have to dumb down even considerably more for them to comprehend what you're doing to the point that the exhibitors would no longer understand.
Anyway. But you're talking about this experience and with the gate people or the check-in people or all that. And I agree with you on that, okay? Completely. But the shoe is also, that street works both ways.
Yes, absolutely.
The people at the check-in, the people at the superintendents, the volunteers, all that other stuff. If the people in the barn are nice and friendly and in a good mood, those people might be in a better mood too. It works both ways.
You remember where I'm at.
I understand that, but I'm telling you, it does work both ways. It does.
It helps. It impacts. I agree. There's a lot of factors that come into it, and I wish it was a positive experience all the time. But identifying each and every one of those, I guess, my perspective, the only thing we can do is we can try to be more positive, whether it's judging a show, showing at the show, setting the stands.
I don't know how I can be more positive. I do not. I'm the one yelling at the people that aren't clapping for the children. What do you want me to do? Take a fire extinguisher and hose them down?
I have also noticed, and again, I believe this contributes, whether it's a jackpot show in northern South Dakota or wherever it may be, if we have a show going on, and maybe you don't experience, there's sometimes that there's no background noise. There's just silence while the judge is judging and nobody even is really talking or doing anything. It's just bad. I think when we lighten that show up and have, I'm not just saying background music, but an announcer that's reading off names and interacting, I think those things really contribute to get the crowd into it more. If we're in a show that's dead silent while the judge is out there sorting, and then the judge lines them up and gets on the microphone and talks them, and we go on to the next class, there's less likely that crowd's going to interact. You can get somebody in the microphone to MC that if they're pretty good, they're going to bring that enthusiasm. They probably have as much control along with the judge following that lead and doing everything.
Well, it's those two people because those are the only two people talking, the announcer and the judge.
Yeah, but some shows there's not even there's nobody announcing anything. Maybe calling for classes.
And I agree with you. I think background music is, I mean, at least you spark reaction out of somebody, even if they hate the song or something. But yeah, I agree with that. But let's be real honest. Do you think the Illinois State Fair is ever going to play background music while the show's going on? I don't.
I don't. Illinois, this is not a good example. This is just not.
Well, Illinois State Fair doesn't even have cordless mics for the judges. How is that possible? It is 2024.
I'm thinking through my mind. I don't think they do.
They do not.
I don't know about every arena, but
there, sir.
Yeah, but there's several arenas.
I have judged. Cattle Barn didn't have a cordless mic. I don't think.
I stopped in the Hog Arena.
Did they have cordless mics?
I'm going to say maybe, but it didn't matter because there's a bigger point here. I'm going to make. It was the open show the second day, and I mean I sat down in the stands where most of the people are, and that microphone system, I could not make out one word that judge was saying. Do you want me to explain how frustrating that will turn the crowd right off pretty quick?
No, without a doubt.
So there's a lot of things. I mean, there was a lot of hogs that went through that ring, junior and open show day. And I'm telling you, that microphone system is so bad if I'm out there sorting them, I just don't. I don't even know if I'd talk them.
This is not the best Illinois State Fair podcast, but anyway.
No.
But I want to stress here, and I mean this honestly. And I am talking to you parents and you brokers and breeders and all this stuff. Y'all all expect this level of, professionalism, enthusiasm, honesty, whatever, all these things out of all of these people, from the show officials to the volunteers to the judge. Do you not agree with that, Dale? That they think that should be there? And
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And so if who do this, I have been on the road 30 days, okay, right now.
Most of which was vacation time.
Right, vacation time, yeah. If I do this, as much as anybody, I think, right now, maybe not the most, but close, and I get mad and I get frustrated after all the things that I have seen, what about the other people that don't do this nearly as much? How do you think it affects them? It affects them more. You want the judges to be great? You want the reasons to be great? You want that? Then you need to show that judge that you give a shit what's going on. You want these ring people, ring stewards. I think we all have expectations out of ring stewards. They need to be on it. They need to be with it. They need to be all this other stuff.
If you have one.
Well, I haven't had one at some shows here lately, but when all you're doing is yelling at them and all this other stuff, that doesn't entice them to want to do a great job. I can sit here and give you countless examples of it works both ways. Y'all on that side of the ring, y'all are way more than the few people on the announcer stand or inside of the ring. Way more of you. You have got to be better at this. And I'm not asking y'all to do much. I'm asking you to support your kid and the other kids in his class or her class. Now, how blankety blank hard is that? I do not understand it. If I was asking y'all to tap dance naked or do cartwheels, it would be different. I'm not.
Maybe they would do that before they applaud.
That's not funny. Okay, I get done judging at the Illinois State Fair. I run across the street to watch Katie in the Grand Drive. She wins. Who is the person that hollers and claps? That would be me. None of the rest of you people. No one.
I would say most of the Illinois State Fair rings were pretty quiet.
I was the one that did that. And people looked at me like I was crazy. I was glad Katie won.
Oh my. I get it. So I while we're talking through this, I think you're really onto something about the exhibitors putting their best foot forward, the ring help, everybody involved.
You want your kid to show great. Well, if all you're doing is yelling at them, and then when they win a class, you don't clap for them. I literally have looked at these kids and said, if I was y'all on the mic, I've said this at least at the last 3 state fairs that I have judged at one time, said, if I was y'all, I'd be mad as hell if that was my parents and they didn't clap for me.
I like it. That's good. What about the situation where we're going back to where some shows are really good and some are not? I think obviously when all the pieces are in play that seem to be going the right direction, it very, very much helps. And I'm trying to identify a couple in my mind that they were so interactive. And it sometimes it was a smaller venue rather than really spread out and more people kind of packed in there, kind of like you'd want for a live auction or something to stimulate the crowd. And I think there's a lot of those things that come into play, but it does. There are certain factors, and we've talked about some of them. But if you can take that attitude and somehow, just like the title states, make it a little bit contagious, it really goes a long way. I'm going to use right here, just because it's this week, the Illinois State Fair. I'm not saying it's the toughest state fair in the country or the most numerous. None of those things am I trying to say. But the top few animals in each species are very, very competitive. They're from competitive families that have put in as much time and effort and all of the above as you could ever imagine. And because of that level of competition, which you're going to find across many, many state fairs, it becomes so competitive, it's a touch toxic. And it's probably, I'm not saying it can't be done and it should be done, but as competition increases, sometimes tensions come along with that. You call it toxic, whatever it may be. That same thing feeds through the crowd, and it's just not good. Not good for that interaction.
Again, this is not the Bash the Illinois State Fair podcast topic. There is in Illinois State Fair is as competitive on the top end as any state fair in the country, maybe more so. But that level of competition is at most state fairs in the Midwest, most state fairs across the country. And so, but I get what you're saying. My point, I guess the bigger point in this to me is I don't care if you are the great in Champions Barn, whatever y'all are doing, getting to that point, winning the grand banner at the state fair. What is the point if you're miserable while you're doing it?
Very well said.
And I am being dead level honest with you. I'm telling you, I have named champions at state fairs all across the country. And you would not know that these people won if you just looked at them. And
maybe
there are different, and not everyone, but I am saying you would think that if you achieved that kind of success, it would be all over you.
I believe you see it I see it in the Illinois State Fair and the exhibitors out in the ring.
I'm not talking about exhibitors. I'm not talking about exhibitors. The exhibitors, me and the kids, we're having a great time. We are. I'm joking with them about how their parents suck by not clapping with them and all this other stuff. And like at the Illinois State Fair.
I thought you said you weren't picking on Illinois.
No, this is not picking on them. This was using this as an example. They needed to take a break because I was going a little too fast. And so I was joking with the kids. I said, I guess I'm going too fast for some of your parents back here. And they said, we like it. We like it when you go fast and all this other stuff. I said, yeah, because y'all want to text your boyfriends or your girlfriends or whatever and get on your phone later. And I mean, we're having fun. I am not yelling. I don't want anybody to think that this is about a kid, because this is not. I am talking to the adults in the room right now. The kids have been amazing. The adults, y'all suck.
When did you come up with this topic?
This past week.
Has it gotten worse over the last couple of years?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would agree with that. But there are those anomalies, and I'm sure we have people listening right now that are thinking the last show they went to, the crowd was wonderful.
I'm not saying saying every show. I'm not saying every barn. Cade had a great experience at the Missouri State Fair. I believe him. I believe that because I have been in the sheep barn and had that same experience 2 years ago. I understand it. But I am saying in general, regardless if it's a state fair, regardless if it's a major show, regardless, I've been at county fairs. And it's like pulling teeth to get these people to clap. Some county fairs, you get the best crowd interaction. They're excited for every damn kid. You can go out there to wine country in Napa Valley, California. I'm telling you, when the kid gets pulled 8th, the crowd goes insane. It's the best thing I've ever been around.
That's because the 8th place hog at Napa Valley brings $43,000.
I don't care. I mean,
no, I get it. You're right. It's a little bit regional too. I definitely see that. No question. And it's all about maybe I'm not trying to target the Midwest or Texas or Oklahoma. I'm not trying to target the states that are showing more, maybe. But I think sometimes we get complacent, brazen, not even that. We get a little bit numb to what success we're achieving if we're going to show after show after show. Where if we're at Napa Valley and that crowd, 80% of them, that's the only show they go to, and maybe the kids showing, it's exciting because they aren't doing it all the time. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know, but there's a regional component to it.
I'm not saying there's not, but what I am saying, and I want y'all to hear this, and I want you to think about it. Every person in that ring, from the exhibitors to the judge to all this other stuff, y'all all have this high expectation of how they are supposed to perform out there. Every single one of us. And yet there are no expectations for y'all, and y'all are doing nothing to help us achieve the expectations that you have for us when you look like you're witnessing an execution instead of you should be proud watching your child's hard work and the family dedication out there in that ring. And I can't get it through to you anymore, but I'm telling you, I have judged these shows, and when that crowd is into it and they are happy to be there and they are excited that they're at a show, and you don't even have to ask for them to clap because they're already doing it, everyone is better. The judge is better. The kids show better. Everything is better. And y'all control that. So all these expectations you have for us inside the ring, I'm flipping the script, and I think we need to have expectations for you people outside of the ring, because right now, y'all are the problem, not us.
Very well stated. That would help dramatically.
Just saying.
This was good.
It is a foreign concept to me that you would spend all this time, all this effort, all this energy, be miserable, whatever you are, but you won't even want to clap or support your child. That you're never going to make me understand. You're not. You're not. And that's what you're doing. And maybe you don't realize that you're not doing, maybe you don't realize it, but that is what you're doing. You are not supporting your kid or any of these other kids. And the only other thing, and like I said, I got to go judge another county fair, and Dale's Wi-Fi problems have been caused us to go late. There are some kids that aren't ever going to get a backdrop picture. They're never going to get a banner. They're never going to get any of these things. But they've put in the same work, the same effort, the same energy as all these other kids did. And that applause when they're exiting the ring is the only recognition they're going to get for the months that they put into this project. And it's up to y'all.
It's just that simple. Very well put. Exactly. I hope that hits home. That should get people across the line, right? You got it.
And I'm going to continue to yell at you people. I'm just telling you right now.
Don't yell at them until they deserve it. Give them the next show today. What are you judging today?
I'm judging another county fair, and I gave them a chance last night, and they were okay. I told them they could do better. I didn't yell at them, but I'm just telling you, I will continue to yell at you. I will, because it's wrong.
Well stated. Do you have a question and answer sponsor?
Yes, I do. Hold on one second. I will find it on my phone. I hope I do a better job reading it than I did last week.
So I did not dig very deep for our question and answers. I got them out of text that I received, which I usually just pull them off a messenger. But we're going to be okay. We'll be good.
Question and answer this week is sponsored by Basic Animal Health. And Basic Animal Health has created a revolutionary solution designed to keep your animals happy and healthy while traveling. Trailer Ride is an all-natural complete health supplement. Originally designed to help animals combat the stress of travel, this product has shown unlimited uses. Trailer Ride starts by minimizing gastric distress and calming the animal for a safe and comfortable ride. But that's not all. It also boosts the immune system, supports respiratory health, contains essential electrolytes, and encourages drinking. Trailer Ride is also a great product for one that is a stressful hauler. Want to know how to boost the immunity you get to the show? Trailer Ride is your answer. You can find Trailer Ride and all of Basic Animal Health's products at www.basicanimalhealth.com. And we appreciate the Leonard family and Basic Animal Health for sponsoring Question and Answer this week.
Thank you, Leonard family. Greatly appreciated. Question number 1 comes from Steve. It is state fair season and great pride for one's own state fair. What is the largest state fair regarding animal numbers?
I couldn't answer
GPT that one. I could throw guesses out there.
I couldn't answer that.
I think Dallas would have to be close. I thought Indiana probably would be one of them. I don't know, but we can.
I would say Texas would be up in the top 5 at least, but the largest, I have no idea.
I don't know either.
And then there's probably there's probably different ways to judge the biggest, because some state fairs have open shows, some don't, stuff like that. So is he asking in terms of junior entries?
I would look at it as junior entries is how I would interpret that, or I would.
So,
there's a handful. Obviously, Texas. I think your I states, Ohio, Indiana, Ohio would come into play. I don't know what that is. Heck, we could be shocked. There could be some state fairs on there, Ryan, that we didn't even fathom would be there. But I don't even know how to get that data, but it'd be interesting to know. I am curious where that falls.
That's a great question that you picked there, Dale. We don't have an answer for it. Good job.
Yeah. I told you that I just had these texted to me. I thought maybe you would just stand up and say Texas.
No, I'm not that person.
James, love the podcast and appreciate all you do for the junior livestock industry. My question is, how do we better help retain families that compete for the first time at a state fair that feel overwhelmed by the scale? Scale in terms of just size and everything.
Oh, it's like what
not the way back,
scale?
not the way back scale. I think
this topic is what I'm talking about. It's not just at the state fair level, but when you go to your first major show or all this other stuff, a lot of people are overwhelmed. You have to encourage them. If it doesn't go great, you say, well, this was your first time. We can improve here, here, and here, and do this. But if you just send them on their way back home with no lessons, no positive notes, nothing to look forward to, they're probably not going to come back. And that is the thing that I don't know if we had a podcast topic about it, but I know I've talked to Dale about it, and I think I've talked about it on here. I think the biggest problem with shows in general is that it seems like if you're not grand champion, then you've lost.
Absolutely.
You have to be able to attain. Everybody wants to be grand champion. I get it. But you also need to set other goals that are more readily attainable, so you feel like you have accomplished something and you are growing within this industry and this process. So ultimately, one day, maybe you can get to that grand champion deal. But the biggest problem is, I wasn't grand champion. I lost. I suck. That is the biggest problem with this industry.
And that is much greater than what you're even getting across. And if we have it, let's just use a jackpot show. Say there's 100 pigs at a jackpot show. 30, 40 of them going there pretty much feel that way, that if they don't win, they've completely lost. And obviously that number of there's going to be a couple that go in that are true contenders, but we do put ourselves in that position that if we do not win grand champion, we've lost. I think that's part of this, what you're seeing, Ryan, back to the episode topic, that people are not as excited because they feel, well, we didn't win the whole thing. We did not succeed. That is so far from the truth. And we have lost our way. And I've been on this hard recently, that we've totally forgotten that we're trying to raise better human beings in these young people. And we, as an industry, it's not in the forefront like it needs to be. There are some that are doing an amazing job of it. And it has been better in the past than it is now. but it's time to turn that tide and let's stop and think about it. Especially you parents out there, for crying out loud. If you're not doing this to make your children better and more successful in life, put your childhood dreams beside themselves somewhere, hide them, bury them, whatever, that you didn't win that banner, you didn't get to do this or that, so you're going to make sure your kids do. Rethink it, please. Let's reset ourselves just a little bit. That topic gets me kind of wound up a little bit.
Everything gets you wound up. Next.
Mary, it seems like the trends continue to change. And before we are out searching for our next year's show animals, I would love your insight that you guys can give regarding trends. Can you have another trend series soon?
I've told Dale about this 2 months ago, and he has done nothing, so y'all blame him.
Thanks for putting it on me.
Welcome. You're the one that came up with the trend series. Everybody knows I don't like guests other than Kate.
We will try to do that. I mean, there's no reason we can't do that sooner than later. On it. Mary, we're on it. Thank you for the reminder. Well, guys, we're in the Midwest State Fair season, and I hope those of you out there listening take to heart where Ryan's coming from, and I support him 100% on this. We always talk about having to do better. Let's implement the best we can, and it will get better. And it is contagious. All the above, everything that Ryan really wanted to push today, hopefully sets in. Until next week, be safe.
Y'all come back now, you hear?